back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm coming to you from Bristol. After spending last week in Chamonix, I'm back to the land of thick air, which I'm very relieved about, and heading out on my long run of the week. Today is my final run of week 9 in my Chicago Marathon training program by Runner, and I am a little nervous because I don't feel like I'm getting any fitter. Obviously I am. I say obviously, I just have to hope and pray and have my fingers crossed that I am, but that is a trusting the process issue. And I've only got 5 weeks until race day, which is absolutely terrifying, because if you asked me to run a marathon tomorrow, I could probably do it, but I don't think it'd be very fun. And of course I always do these things for fun, so I'm hoping very much hoping that I'll be able to actually enjoy the race. But today is a big step in the right direction because I've had a cold, as you may have heard in my last vlog where I pretty much lost my voice. I've had a cold for 3 weeks or something, 2.5 weeks I think, which is abnormally long for a cold, but unfortunately it's a side effect of my Epstein-Barr virus, which means that I just basically respond very badly to any sort of virus now. I just basically have no immune system, which is so frustrating, but it is what it is, and it has meant that I haven't done very much training recently. In fact, the 2 weeks before this one, I literally only did 2 runs in each of those weeks, so bare minimum mileage, which, you know, at the time was the right thing to do, but it makes me a little bit concerned for the race itself. And I haven't done any speed work, but this week I've managed to do a full week minus the speed work, which is great because this is my 4th run of the week. I'll be hitting 45 kilometers, maybe more, something like that, and I feel okay today, so all good. It's just one of those things that you just have to deal with when marathon training, because sometimes things go wrong, and that's that. But I'm happy to be out today, and it's a beautiful day as well, which is really nice because it has been so grim recently, so I'm happy to get some sun on my skin again. Today I'm heading to the Bristol to Bath cycle path. I was actually going to get the train over to Bath, but then I couldn't be bothered. I was like, I'll just do an out and back. And the good thing about an out and back on the cycle path is A, you can just turn around whenever, and B, it's slightly uphill on the way out and downhill on the way back, which is nice when your legs start to get tired. So I quite like it. It's also got no cars on it, which is nice because I hate having to dodge cars and all that kind of stuff. And it's busy in Bristol today. I've never seen so many people on this little bit. I haven't been here in ages because I only usually come down here either for like 25 to 30k runs or longer interval sessions, and like I said, I've not been doing very much of that recently. I forgot how much I loved it. It's actually looking really green, which is nice. I feel like in Bristol it's rare to get flat routes that are also green. If you're going flat, you're going Harbourside, but obviously Harbourside you're people dodging the whole way, and I don't know how I did it when I lived in London, because I absolutely hate having to like weave my way around people, because I also feel really guilty for like running too close to them, like I'm disturbing them or something. So very happy to have this here and for it to go for so long as well. But yeah, I got 25 kilometers on the cards today, and I like to have a goal for each of my runs because although they each have a benefit of their own just through getting out and running and doing the distance, there are also lots of other things that you need to practice when doing marathon training. And if any of you watch my sort of, was it 19 kilometers with 9 kilometers of race pace through the middle, that was a session that I really struggled to eat in. And so I thought for today, my goal can be just to get to 60 grams of carbs per hour. Feels like a simple goal, but I've only just eaten breakfast, so I'm really full, and I know that I won't want to eat it. But it's good practice, because if I can't eat during an easy run along a nice simple route while I'm not racing, then I definitely can't do it on race day. So I should definitely practice here. And I've got some new foodie bits to try out as well today to see if they work for me, that have a little bit less plastic in than like single-use gels. So I will share those with you as we go. But we are 3.7k in and 21 minutes, which means I've already forgotten my first gel. So I'll take that now. One of the things I love about a long run is that, so I've just done 5 kilometers. I barely feel like I've started the run, maybe because I have barely started the run. But you know, people are always like, how do you keep going for 25 kilometers? I can barely do 5. Well, when I'm doing 5 kilometers, it also feels long, you know, because you're counting down the minutes until you finish. Whereas when you're setting out for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, you know, you don't count down the minutes because you know it's going to be hours and not minutes. So it's all kind of relative. But I've just stuck in my podcast for the first time, which is The Lost Art of Running by Shane Benzie, that I was talking about during my Richmond run, half marathon the other day. It's good, it's talking about cadence, which is something that I'm always a little bit reluctant to give advice on or talk about, because obviously I'm not an expert, but anyone who's been a long time watcher of the channel, anyone who was here back in Tokyo Marathon days and before, will know that I suffered with IT-band syndrome for like 5 years on and off. And you know, I tried all sorts of different things. I was going to the gym, I was super strong, stronger than I am now. But I was massively overstriding and heel striking, and there's a lot of evidence now to suggest that people should not change their running gait, and you shouldn't try and opt for, you know, a mid-foot strike or a forefoot strike, and it's more likely to cause more damage than it helps. But in my case, I worked really hard on increasing my cadence, so basically taking more steps per minute. And the natural side effect of that was that my foot was landing more underneath me and less force was going through my knees. And aside from, you know, the occasional, really like every 3 years, very, very minimal flare up, I have never suffered from IT-band syndrome ever since. So, you know, changing my cadence wouldn't have been something that I would have done if I hadn't been completely desperate. And you know, when you've been suffering from an injury for 5 years, you kind of are completely desperate. And so that's what I did. I changed it, and now my cadence is a lot faster. I take little baby steps. It's around 180. I find when I get tired it lengthens, and that's when I get injured, or like little niggles here and there. So yeah, like I'm not recommending anything, but if you have a physio and you have an injury, maybe mention it, just in case it's something that could help. But you know, these things are also individual. What helped me might not help someone else, but when you're desperate for a solution, you're kind of going to try anything, and thankfully for me it worked. So over 6 kilometers in now, my heart rate is super high because I'm talking to you guys, so I'm going to put the camera down and focus on actually running. beautiful day. I'm in one of those moods where it's just so glorious to be out, and I think having had so many pretty grim runs the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's just such a joy to be enjoying one again. And you know, for everyone, marathon training can be like that. The whole point in it is that you overload yourself, so you're tired a lot of the time, and not every run can be incredible, but when they do happen, they really make the whole thing worth it. And when the weather's like this, it's so nice. So I'm 10k in. Obviously at 12.5 I turn around and go back. I'm going to try and do a little loop at the end because I just hate an out and back. Even just a 1 kilometer loop makes it a little bit better. So I'm going to try and do that long snake with a little bobble head, I think. Yeah, I'll probably put some music on the way back and see. You know, I'm doing it relatively easy on the way out, just consistent sort of 6 to 6:20 minutes per kilometer pace, something like that, which is usually my easy pace, but when I have a pack on, my heart rate goes a little bit up to, you know, like high 150s, low 160s, which is zone 3 for me. But hey, it's fine. We'll get it done, and in the race, I can promise you now, I will be surprised if it goes below 170. So I might as well prepare for that. Totally forgot that I'm supposed to be eating every 20 minutes. I'm 9 minutes late for this one, so I'm having 20 grams of carbs every 20 minutes. And it's going really well. My stomach's absolutely fine, but my brain is very forgetful. So I'm having these little chews at the moment. These are the Mellow Chews by Bella Forte. These ones are good because it means you're not just having gels, so they're solid, but they're like kind of Turkish delight sort of texture. And also plastic-wise, you get 60 grams of carbs per packet rather than 20 grams, so you're using basically a third of the plastic, which is good in terms of sustainability, and they're less sticky and sometimes a bit more pleasant to eat. So I'm kind of mixing it up between them, which is, I think, worthwhile. I have no idea where I am. I've come off the railway path to do something a little bit different, and am I lost? No, I've done this before. It's always fun when you just like pop out somewhere and you're like, oh yeah, I was there like 3 years ago on a very good run. I think I was running like 35 kilometers. Anyway, I'm supposed to be running, not walking. Alrighty, I'm on my way back. We are 12.8 kilometers in. Should be exactly 25 by the time I get back. I really hope it is, because the last thing I want to do is run around in circles when I get there. But what I'm going to try and do is get back within the time it took me to get out here. So this is something that I sometimes do instead of interval sessions. Hey, because it requires a little bit of pushing, and it leans into the idea of wanting negative splits in a race and stuff. So when your body gets tired, obviously you slow down, but you don't have to. So that's the goal today, don't slow down. And fingers crossed it's possible. It means I want to get back in at kind of like exactly 2:30, 2:31 sort of time. We'll see if that's possible. Fingers crossed. But I put the music on now, so no longer podcast, and we're on to the fun stuff. Shout out to everyone on the Bristol to Bath cycle path today. Everyone is being very smiley and lovely, and it makes me so happy. So nice to pass a runner and just give them a little nod. More of that, please. I'm on kilometer 19 and I've just done a 5:35 kilometer. Big mistake. It's quite fun though. I'm having a good time. This is so nice. 20 kilometers in, legs are starting to hurt, nearly back-ish. I'm definitely gonna have to do a wiggle around Harborside. But I'm trying out new FTP endurance fuel. Per 2 of these, there's 30 grams of carbs, which is quite a lot. I'm trying them at the end of the run just in case something terrible happens. But I like them because you get a bunch, 4? You get a bunch in a packet, which again means less plastic, which is nice. And they look delish and kind of solid. So anyway, 2 hours in, 20 kilometers in, everything hurts, having a good time. They're really good. They're very, very yum. I would eat these for fun. Done. Lordy Lord. Woo! Oh God, that is so wobbly. 25 kilometers done. Haven't looked at my pace, give me a sec. 2:31:09. Basically exactly where I wanted to be. Way off race pace, but that's a problem for another day. That is exactly where I wanted to be today, and I hit my goal of 60 grams of carbs per hour, maybe just over. I'll calculate when I get back. All in all, excellent run. Finished by listening to The Greatest Showman, and nothing is more motivating, honestly, I swear to God. Hello, it's Oh, so I'm back at home, have had lunch, and I'm about to sign off, but that was 25 fabulous kilometers today. I'm so happy with how it went. I said at the start that I really wanted to be able to get 60 grams of carbs in for per hour, basically. And unfortunately, I miscalculated how many carbs were in the chews. I thought it was 60 and it's only 40, 42, something like that, which meant that rather than getting 60 grams of carbs per hour, I actually got 50 grams of carbs per hour. But it's still a big improvement on what I had done last time, and my gut felt fine until I got back here, and then I was a little bit like, I need something that's like savory and solid, you know? But I think during the run is absolutely fine, didn't have any issues, and I really loved that FTP one at the end. I thought that was really enjoyable. Full transparency, they gifted it to me just to product review, basically, and give them some feedback. I'm always happy to say negative things about brands I don't like, but I actually thought it was really good. So that will definitely be an addition to my roster, alongside the Velo Forte stuff, which I know and love, and is very gentle on my stomach compared to some other things that I've tried. But I did it in 2 hours and 31 total time, 2 hours 28 moving time, because I set up my phone in a couple of places to film, and got my negative split that I wanted as well. So as runs go, that's pretty good. I did the 2 things I wanted to, well, the third being just finishing the run, which is really good. The only thing is I'm looking at the pace I'm doing there, which is just over 6 minutes per kilometer, and the pace I want to hit for the marathon, which is like 5 minutes per kilometer. And thinking,
how on earth am I supposed to run an extra 17 kilometers on top of today during a race? There is nothing in my training that suggests currently, just being pragmatic, that I can run the race that I want to run in Chicago. And that's not me being down on myself, that's me being realistic. I don't want to set my sights too high and then be disappointed. But when I did Barcelona half marathon, there was nothing in my training that suggested I could have run a 1:40 half marathon, and then I did it anyway. So I don't know, maybe I'll surprise myself, maybe I won't. The only thing is, I would like the rest of this training plan to go well, because I don't struggle with racing. I know that on race day I'll be able to pull something out of the bag. It will hopefully be a personal best. It might not be sub 3:45, but it will still be a personal best. I know that I can do that on race day. But what I know that I struggle with is the consistency of training. Every party I go to, every wedding, every bit of traveling that I do, every event, every bit of work drains my energy a little bit more. And it takes me weeks to get back to normal afterwards. And that's something that I have never had to balance in my life before, beyond the usual just normal balancing energy levels. You know, usually I will get knocked out for a couple of days by doing a wedding. I'll feel hungover, I'll feel sad for myself, and then I'll be back up and running like 2 days later. With EBV, it's like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks after a wedding. And that is something I'm really struggling with, not only physically, but also psychologically as well, because I'm so desperate to do my training justice and do the race justice, and do runner justice as well, who are providing me the race place. And it's an incredible privilege to be able to do it. So I really want to do as well as I can in the circumstances, but I just really want this training block to just be smooth sailing from here. But I don't know, who are we kidding? When is it ever smooth sailing in a marathon training block? I don't know. That's week 9 done. I have 5 more weeks to go. We will see. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it. 5 weeks to go, 5 more videos on the road to Chicago. And thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.